So after landing on the Delhi airport, we went and stood for a COVID line. This was the COVID RT-PCR line. They said that the test they will resume at 10 a.m. and my appointment was at 12 p.m. and I stood in the line and I got my test done. It wasn't a very long process. The line was moving quickly, and I think within 1 hour I was completed with my test, and they handed me over a receipt uh, which had the stamp of sample given, and they handed it over to me. This is the waiting lounge at Delhi airport. I had to show my boarding pass and ticket to sit in this area, and it was comfortable. After landing from my Baroda to Delhi flight, I waited in this area for around 3 to 4 hours, and I had my lunch there. So for food, I just had a chicken salad from the airport area itself, and it was fulfilling, and it was I don't know, it wasn't very expensive as well, and it was good. So I think, yeah, you can go for that. This was the view outside the airport. So after waiting for some time more, I was hungry and I decided to have my dinner at the airport itself. And around 8:30 in the evening, I had this masala dosa, which was, I think, around 150 rupees at the airport, and it was okay. Yeah. So when it was 9 p.m., we decided to enter the terminal 3 for a flight which was at 4 a.m. in the morning. So this is terminal 3, and here also food was available. So I decided to go for a chicken burger, and it was good, and it was, I think, around 150 rupees something, 200, I don't remember, but yeah, I did not feel hungry after that. So then the the night shift comes at 10 p.m. So the boarding pass and all for the morning, it starts after 10 p.m. For Air India, the windows were EF, so I just stood in front of it, and very soon the staff started giving boarding pass for Air India, and I stood in line. So yeah, I was like the first person to go in there, and that person, he asked for my ticket, my passport, and he gave me a boarding pass, and I got the window seat 38A, which is like in a third compartment in the aeroplane, and yeah, it was a good seat. Yeah. So after having my boarding pass, we entered into this duty-free area, which means that you can buy anything from here and carry it to the airplane. So I did not buy anything, but my friend needed some medications, so we bought that, and it was a little bit expensive but affordable. So after that, we went into after from the duty free area, we went into uh, another section where there are ports like 1 to 9 in number, and our plane, that the boarding was happening at gate number 9. So we went and we sat there waiting for our plane to arrive. So this is the line for immigration at Delhi, where you will show your documents. I showed my passport and boarding pass, etc. That's it, and they gave me the departure stamp. So you have to go for your immigration after you get your boarding pass, and before you sit on the plane, and they will give you a departure stamp. I booked the 500 rupees RT-PCR test via Jane Strang, and they took my sample at around 10 in the morning, and by 4 or 5 p.m. I got my test result in my mobile. But on the safer side, I decided to collect the hard copy also. So for that, in the international airport itself, there was a desk. You can ask anyone where the desk is, and they were distributing this RT-PCR report. So I went there and I showed them my sample collected receipt of the morning, and they gave me the hard copy of the report and they put a stamp on it. And no one asked for me for this report later on. So after waiting for a long time in cold winter at Delhi airport, we were finally able to board our flight at around 3:30 a.m. And on 17th December. And I dozed off actually. I slept, and then when I woke up after 2 hours, I saw that the plane was taking off. So the plane was 2 hours late. Our plane was supposed to take off at 4, and then slowly it took off at, I think, 7 a.m. So yeah, there was a delay. On my seat, there was already a bag of snacks available, which had biscuits and wafers and water, and then there was this breakfast given to us in a while. I think around 12 a.m. we were given breakfast, and it was somewhat edible. The yogurt was good, the muffin was okay, the potatoes sabji I ate. The steak was good, but the omelette was not. As soon as I had the omelette, I was nauseated, so I stopped having it. My seat did a somewhat good job on being comfortable, and I was able to sleep there for like, uh, I think in my 15 hours journey, I slept for like 7 to 8 hours, and yeah, there was no turbulence. It was a smooth ride, and all the time I could see these clouds and in my window. There was nothing to see. But yeah, once I saw this mountains, the snow-clad mountains, which I thought were Russia. So there is a TV in front of you where you can watch your movies or preloaded movies or and listen to music. But the TV in front of me was off the entire time. And I called the air hostess about it, but she said she'll come and she never came. And I tried calling her for 2 to 3 times, then I gave up. So if I was lucky enough and the TV screen was working, then there is a GPS kind of display which shows where the aeroplane is. So you can see which country you're flying above. So yeah, that is something I regret because I was really
Area aims to excel
excited
in
to see
service
that.
and hospitality
And
and welcomes your feedback.
I'm a 5'5" person, and you can see my legs have this much room, but the seat is definitely not for someone who is very tall. And so when Canada approached, I think the flight was around 12 to 13 hours, and we could see all this. And it was fun to see this. And surprisingly, it was really warm in the plane. Like I did not feel cold at any time. So these are the visuals I had for Trump of Canada. The first time seeing another country. It was exciting. The only upsetting part of my journey was the 18 hours of wait in Delhi, because here you can get really tired as you do not get the chance to freshen up or or lie down and rest for some time. But there are options available for that also. Like there is a 5,000 per day rent hotel, uh, which you could share with your travel partner. And but I did not go for the hotel because I'm not familiar with the transport system of Delhi, and if in case I am late or something, then I thought it's better to wait there also. And in the visiting or waiting lounge that I showed you earlier, there was another premium lounge available, and it had a fee of 1,200 rupees for 3 hours, and if you want to stay 1 hour extra, then you had to pay 300 rupees. And some of the guys from our group actually went for that, and they just went in and they said they just slept all the time, and uh, food was accompanied with the fee, but there was no shower service. So we had a food in the restaurants on the airport itself. There is everything. There was McDonald's, there was Subway, there was cafe, and in the airport there was a vending machine where I bought drinks like Gatorade uh, and all. And then there was sandwiches of all kinds. So I preferred to that food, and the washrooms were clean, and you could use them, and there was drinking water available at some places, so you can fill your bottle with it. As soon as we landed, and then we were like, there were signs all over, and we were also given a declaration form where we had to write down our name, our date of birth, and our purpose of visit. And there is a declaration if you are carrying any kind of goods like seeds or alcohol, not if more than the permitted amount, and fires, etc., etc. So like that, after signing the declaration form, we were taken to waiting area, and there were like many machines in front of us. And when your turn comes, you just have to go in front of the machine. You have to put your passport down, and to scan it, you have to keep the first page of the passport, which has your name and your photo. And the machine, um, it asks you the same questions that you filled up in the declaration form, that the purpose of your visit and how many days you are going to stay there. If you are on the student visa, then you have to write 365 into 2 day into 2, so that many days, or 1 year, 1 year study, so 365, like that many days. And then after filling up all the details, you will get a printout, and it's kind of a receipt of the declaration form. So after collecting that, there is another test where you will be taken to, and that person will check your declaration form receipt, and then he will take your passport, and he will ask you a few questions. I know he asked me, why are you visiting Canada? And I said I have visited Canada to study. And he said, yeah, what are you going to study? And I said, I'm going to study this in this program. It is of 2 years at this college, etc. So that two questions he asked me, and then he gave a pink sticker on my passport. So that time I didn't realize that this was the pink sticker that everyone was chatted about, and I just waited in line, and then I saw that some people had green. So most people in line had the pink sticker, and a lucky few had the green sticker. And really, it was a very random process. And so after collecting the green sticker, we were taken for a study permit. So there also you were taken by line, and when your turn comes, you just have to go to the particular desk, and that person, he sees your passport, and that's your passport. And then he asks you a few questions, like he asked me what I was going to study, and then and he just printed my study permit, and he gave it to me, and he told me that for 20 hours per week, and then he told me that I can leave. So I left with study permit. My program doesn't go up, so I didn't need a work permit. So after that, we were taken to the luggage belt, and our luggage was already on the floor, and I collected all my 3 bags. First I took a trolley. I put my cabin bag on the top basket, and on the main trolley As I exited the luggage area, there were people who checked the pink sticker on my passport and they directed me to the RT-PCR reporting area. So that also it was very systematic, line wise, and there was a scan me sign. I scanned it and it opened the Switch Health website. So on the Switch Health website, I had to create an account and I created it. I put in my details. So and then I had to stay in line for my test to be done. So I forgot to tell you that I had already taken a Fido company card when I was in India, and when I was about to land, then I used my earring to open my slim slot and I put in that card, and it just activated in certain time, yeah, very soon, yeah, and and yeah, and I was able to call immediately with the help of this card, and it also gave me internet. So I also called my parents back here in India to inform them. So I think, yeah, it's you can take this card for immediate purpose. For, so I had to leave at the E gate, but the I left from the D gate and I walked to the E gate, and it wasn't very cold. I think it was around 2 degree to 3 degrees Celsius that time, and I it was a pleasant environment. I loved it, and then I sat in the car and left the airport. So when I landed in Canada, my first impression was like I came in the world of Netflix, because everything all the graphics I had seen in Netflix, I was seeing exactly that, but in real life. And my first impression was that the traffic was really very disciplined, and there was no honking of the horn, and it was really smooth kind of transport. So I sanitized myself, and then we went to the place where I had to go, and luckily I also saw the snow, and it wasn't very cold in the snow either, and it was very pretty. So overall, it was a very good experience, and if I had to do again, I think I would skip the 18 hours stay in Delhi and go for another route like via Dubai. I think that would be easier, and I would be lenient on the packing side, because yeah, you can bring face wash, you can bring a little amount of toothpaste, and little amount of moisturizer, as long as it is less than 100 ml in your bag. Sharp objects are thoroughly checked, and you should not keep it in your cabin luggage. Like some people, they had problem because they had a rounder in their stationery in the cabin bag, and some people had scissors. So I avoided that in my cabin bag. You can take it in the check-in luggage, and other than that, you can take a little amount of snack. So I hope this video is helpful, and if you have any more questions, you can ask in the comment. Thank you.